In a world full of movie podcasts, here is one more. Welcome to Defend Your Movie with Sean Donnelly
and Andrew Fiore.
The time has come again. The champion must stand. It can only be one of us. Victorious. So stand up and fight, my friend. There's a title you must defend. Shut it on and on. Bring it to me. Defend your...
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to your favorite podcast with a new brand. I don't know how many times I'm going to do that. It's the DYM podcast. We're so excited about it. I don't know how many times I can do that joke about the branding. I don't know if people get that I think people realize I'm being sarcastic when I'm being like, the new brand. We're branding. Everything's about branding. Everything's about content and branding.
New and improved for kids.
Yeah. You already know us. I'm Sean Donnelly. That's Andrew Fiore. You know us. You know the Knuckleheads. You know, are we still Dutch and the Cool Breeze or no?
Oh, yeah. That'll never change. Dutch and the Cool Breeze are here to stay.
It's eternal, I think. I think it's like the ocean. It's like the waves. It's just eternal. Like a cool breeze.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
Oh, not too much. Just chilling out in New Jersey at my mom's house, getting away from the city for a little bit, which is nice. You really take it for granted when you have a backyard as a kid. You don't realize how important that's going to be to you as an adult when you live in a city like we do. As a kid, you go, yeah, this is whatever. I have all this opportunity, and I could be spending so much time out here. And then you move to a one-bedroom apartment in Queens.
Yes.
And you cherish that now. You know what I mean? So I come back here. I'm in the hammock. I'm running around the yard. I'm playing war games by myself. I'm doing all the things I did when I was a kid.
When you live in the city for a while, then you go back home, you feel like a millionaire.
Oh, my God. That, too.
Because you're like, well, it's also because it's like, I have a house to myself. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Everything's cheaper, too. I was telling you, I got a smoothie earlier. It was like $3 for like a large. It's crazy, you know?
That same thing in Brooklyn or Manhattan or even Queens. You're like talking like $8 for that thing.
I know. I got to take out a mortgage.
So, this is how much I wish I had a backyard. I just bought an electric smoker.
Ooh, yeah. Where are you going to use that thing?
You can use it indoors. You can use it indoors. Yeah, but I talked to my friend and he's like, "Oh, do you have a vent? Do you have like a hood, like for ovens?" And I was like, "No, why?" And he's like, "Oh, you're fucked. You're gonna have so much smoke in your apartment." I'm like, "Well, listen." I think first off, I don't get.
It's in the name, smoker.
Yeah, exactly. And I the way I picture it, and people are gonna think I'm such an idiot for this, but like, I'm just going to point a box fan at it and like towards the window of my kitchen. Like I'm not going to
try it.
It's not going to be like a house fire level of smoke. It's going to be just smoky. And then
I'm a little wary.
Are you really?
Yeah, a little. I want to see what's the first test run going to be. What's the meat?
Well, I'm going to do ribs and chicken because that's like
classic.
It's a good starter one, and then I'm going to try to build my way up to brisket because that's where the real like artistry of smoking comes in.
Oh baby, I love a brisket.
Oh, I love it. I love the whole process. I love learning about all that stuff. Like I watch these videos about smoking brisket, and that the electric smoker is not like your pellet or like your traditional smoker like they use in the restaurants.
Right.
But apparently it's a good starter thing to use to try to learn how to do this.
That's
so
good.
If I get good at it, maybe I move somewhere where I can have like my own, like a regular smoker. You know,
yeah,
like that
sure.
Kind of,
it reminds me of in Gremlins, the dad is eating the venture, the smokeless ashtray. It's like smokeless smoker.
Wasn't that the smokeless smoker invented that? That's a Shark Tank idea right there.
Absolutely.
Wasn't that a real thing? The smokeless ashtray that they had.
I think in the
80s?
In the years, yeah, there had to have been some sort of contraption like that.
Where it was some kind of thing where I guess maybe it was pulling down the smoke as you were smoking?
Yeah, something.
Like it was sucking it in, like an air shaft thing?
Yeah, who the heck knows? I was thinking about this the other day. I was watching an old clip of Seinfeld, and you know how they do the stand-up in the beginnings, in the early ones. and you could see puffs of smoke coming up around him. Did you ever do stand-up in clubs when smoking was still allowed?
Nope.
No,
not in clubs.
Me neither. I think I started enough, but I wasn't working clubs when that was still allowed. But I definitely bartended in bars before smoking got banned in bars in New York City.
And would you get home and just be
You forget how much it sticks to you. And like, I was always not a full-time smoker. I would always have a few, and I haven't smoked in years now, but I used to in college and
like
after
while you were drinking, kind of thing.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. I never really bought packs and was a full-timer. But you forget if you're a non-smoker and you're just at a bar. Like, I'd have girlfriends who'd be like, "Yeah, it's in my hair. I don't smoke." It's just like I can't imagine that lifestyle anymore, but I also kind of miss it and romanticize it a little bit.
Well, you know what it is? It harkens back to the day of cool. It's like, talk about movies, like cool, like smoke on film in a bar scene is so much cooler.
So much cooler.
I think they probably still even they don't put like smoke in there, but they're definitely putting a filter on a bar scene now because you still need that misty. It's supposed to be like that's what bars are supposed to be, like this intimate, like this kind of this hazy experience. That's what you need, you know?
Also, do you ever think about it like this? Like, you know, you've done a ton of acting. It's the hardest part to me a lot of times when you're acting is when you're not speaking and it's trying to get out of your head, be like, should I be doing something with my hands? What should I be doing? If you're smoking, that's kind of a built-in thing to do, and it kind of takes your mind off your line because you're so inside your head. You know, I think when you go, I'll light up a cigarette and it will just look natural.
Did I tell the story on the podcast about the Tracy Morgan story? With like, it kind of fits into what you're talking about. When I did,
tell it, Dad.
I did a small part on that Tracy Morgan show,
right,
last OG. So the guy was supposed to be kind of like. First, he's supposed to be upset that they're trying to break into like the VIP section. It's like Tracy and his son.
Yes, yeah, okay, I remember.
And then so what happens is he comes over, and then I'm like, tickets, please. And I guess at first I didn't do it to his liking. So Tracy Morgan right away goes, "You're acting. We get this guy something. Get him something.
You acted.
He goes, get him a toothpick."
Okay.
So I go, what the fuck? And then they run off and they get me a toothpick. But I got to be honest, it made all the difference. Like, it made it very easy to do. Like, I had the toothpick in my mouth. The only beef I have is one of the take that they use for one of the lines, because it kind of cuts back and forth. I kind of barely get the line out because of the toothpick. I don't know why they use that. I think it's because they don't care. It was a small character. They don't care.
Right.
But for me, I remember that take and being like, oh, I barely said it right in that take. Like, why would you use that take, you know? Because we did it like 3 times.
Hilarious. Yeah, little stuff like that. Yeah,
but like the toothpick in the mouth, like it did make me like Tracy Morgan's out of his mind. But it made me feel like I'm the guy. Like, you're the guy. Like, I
think that's why everybody smoked in all those old movies. Nobody doesn't smoke.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And because smoking was like, you were smoking, it was not, they literally did not think it was a problem.
Right.
Like, they were like, even kids would smoke with their parents around, and the parents, they didn't know it was a health hazard. How could you not know it was a health hazard?
I know it's smoke.
How hypnotized are you as a public, like, and susceptible to like marketing that you don't realize that you're breathing in? Maybe because they thought you're breathing it in and then exhaling it. They didn't think that was it wasn't staying or something. Like, you know.
Also, people don't care because there's still tons of smokers out there, and we're fully aware of all the damage it does. So
if you smoke now, the smokers now are self-aware. Smokers now, if you talk to them, like, I know I'm killing myself, but I don't care.
Yeah,
like a lot of people use the logic when they smoke. They're like, well, all I'm chopping off is the last 10 shitty years of my life. It's like, yeah, I guess, but I've seen happy 80-year-olds. You know what I'm saying?
You know
like,
what could happen in those 10 years?
Yeah, it's like, that's all up to you. If you're miserable already, then why not jump out a window now?
What if you hit the lottery like year 11?
Yeah,
and you got millions of dollars, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly. But yeah, so I think the way I always felt about smoking is I always thought I still think it looks so cool.
It is cool.
It looks so cool. And if there's any kids listening to the podcast, smoking is cool. Smoking really
makes you look really cool.
But I never.
When Bart works for the mob and he's hoarding all those cigarettes, and the delivery guy comes in to pick him up, and Homer thinks he's smoking. He's like, I'm going to stay here, and you're going to smoke every single one of these cigarettes. And he puts one. He's like, Dad, you don't understand. I'm not a smoker. I got to do this for my job. And the delivery guy comes in and goes, Hey, kid, you look kind of good. You look kind of sophisticated with that cigarette. I love it they use that one voice for a lot of different characters.
Yeah, that
hey,
voice.
Boyo.
Who is that voice? Is it Hank? That's not Hank Azaria.
It's probably a good guess. It's him or Harry Shearer.
It's like that old-timey New York character thing. Like, that's what that voice is. Hey, it's almost like a variation of the Charles Bronson voice, where he goes, when instead of going to Branson, Missouri, they go to Bronson, Missouri.
Right, exactly. No,
they see, who is it? you see the mom and the kid. And the kid goes,
so funny.
Mom, let me have a cookie. Hey, Mom, I want a cookie. She goes, no dice.
This ain't over.
This ain't over. This ain't over. No, but I always thought it looked cool. But I was always, I don't know about you, like, my sister smoked in college, but then she quit. She doesn't smoke anymore. But my thing was I don't think I ever mentioned this. There'd be no reason to. My grandmother smoked. My grandmother went to like a party when she was like 18 years old or no, like when she was like 16 or something back in like, the 30s or whatever, like the 40s.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but I guess it must have been the 30s because my mom was born in the 40s, 44. So, and my grandmother went to this party and everybody tried smoking there. And the only person that kept going with it was my grandma, my nanny, my grandma. And she smoked until she had tongue cancer.
Wow.
And then they had to take off a piece of her tongue and it changed how she spoke. And that's why I don't smoke.
Really?
Because it was like a I don't know, a multi-year reminder, like a time reminder during the year whenever I would see her of what smoking can do. Like, and
was she still
my
married?
parents didn't smoke. No, my grandfather died before I met him. He died when my mom was like 20.
Oh, yeah, I got to it. I was going to say that. I wonder if she French kissed anybody.
Come on. You're killing me here.
No, that's smoking.
I think she might have. She had a boyfriend, this guy Jim, who was like off the boat Irish guy. Great guy. He was a great guy. Oh, we loved him. We loved this guy Jim. He kind of looked. It's funny. Jim was very stiff though. He kind of looked like one of those like Hall of Presidents animatronic things from like Disney World. But he was a very like classy, like old school, gentlemanly type guy. You know what I'm saying?
Chap.
A good old chap, a good old lad, a good lad. But they must have French kissed. But thanks for doing that. Thanks for ruining my life, Andy. I appreciate
what does she
that.
sound like?
I'm not going to do an impression of my dead grandma, dude. That's not happening. What a monster you are. Considering in light of what's going on in the world right now with you, I can't believe you're doing this. My nanny,
grandma kiss.
You son of a bitch. My nanny was a saint.
Of course.
She was a saint. She was an amazing woman.
Donnelly.
No, not Donnelly. Brady.
Oh.
Brady.
But yeah, you know what that reminded me of? There was, back in the day, people would go to like a certain type of party. It was like, I'm going to a smoking party tonight. You know?
Yeah. They always had
like that was a thing.
parties.
Yeah, it would be like, we're going to a necking party.
Yeah, I think they would have that with everything. Like, they wouldn't just be like no, they had a makeout party. I think they had a makeout party. And then it got to like people our age, and then you wouldn't call it wouldn't be a makeout party. It'd be a hangout where people go off and make out.
Yeah, we just called them boy-girl parties. We'd be like, it's a boy-girl party. You know? Because that was like 8th grade. That was like 8th grade. The birthday parties started to include the opposite sex.
Yes, yeah.
You know?
And did you like, I don't think there's anything better than that, like, the earliest makeouts. Like, I don't think there's anything, first of all.
I think the only thing that tops it is going upwards sexually. You know?
You think the first time having sex?
Yeah, I think the first times, not necessarily the first time losing virginity, but like the first times you're having like regular sex, or like you have a girlfriend and you're like, I can have sex kind of whenever I want.
Oh, yeah, that's fantastic.
But like, it's still early. You're still like a teenager, like in your early 20s for me at least. You know, like
yeah, but I'll tell you this: if you compare the first time I had sex with the first time I made out, make out wins out every time. Like if you just take like time, like time for time, like you're not doing it like an over the course of time, like that kind of thing.
Yeah. I was in 8th grade. Christina Marinaro was my first French kiss. She went in. I remember her like being very forceful with her tongue. It was like very aggressive, and I was just like, "Whoa, that's what it is,"
Oh, that's so freaking funny.
It was a total classic spin the bottle situation. It was actually at my house. It was my birthday party. I had the girls over, and then the boys slept over. It was like a boy-girl party, and then the boys slept over. Big sleepover.
When she did it, did you go, "Whoa, how's my stomach taste?" Did you go, "How's my stomach taste?" She says. That's Matt Dillon and Something About Mary. He goes, "How's my stomach taste?" She says. She says, and he's got the fucking teeth, the cat teeth. How's my stomach taste? She says.
I'm fixing my tie. I go, hey, easy with.
Wait, so she was like a strong tongue kisser.
Strong tongue kisser, yeah. I'm still like Facebook friends with her today.
Are you really? And she married with kids?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember. I think then it was like until sophomore year, I had no contact physically with girls.
So your freshman year, you were like donezo.
Yeah, I also went to a boys only school, like a private, Catholic school.
Oh yeah.
There was the girls' school right next door, so it wasn't like for lack of girls' presence. It was just for lack of any skills on my behalf whatsoever.
And your dances had like girls.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I guess you have to.
Just a group of boys going, "Hey, Freddie, check out these moves."
It's just like it's an all boys school.
No, we didn't invite all the girls' schools, so it was cool. It was great, and also like I had all my friends from my town's public school, so it's like it purely wasn't for lack of female presence. It was just I had no game whatsoever.
We're very similar. Like I'm the same way, dude. I was always there was like a time where I was at the mall, Roosevelt Field Mall in Long Island. Shout out, great mall. And I'm walking down the mall. Like this is at the time. Like I was probably a little bit older. I was probably like 15 or 16, 15 maybe, 16. And I was with my buddy John. And this girl walks by and she's like staring. Like she's staring at. Even I knew she was staring at me. She was like staring at me, and it was a good thing. She was like smiling and staring at me. And my buddy John like sees her and he looks over at me at one point after we've already passed her. He looks over like, "Huh?" And I go, "Yeah, what the fuck is she looking at?"
I know. Yeah, you're like, "She want to fight?"
Yeah, I'm like, "You got a problem? Want to throw down?"
Yes. You're so unaccustomed to girls paying attention to you.
So, but yeah, I'm like, I still to this day, I have my moments, I think. You have that, right? Like you have your moments.
Yeah, I had that sophomore year, I had a girl. I mean, since this is still a 50% a movie podcast, I had a really like my first kind of steady-ish girlfriend was named Meg Ryan.
No way!
Yeah. And she was super cool and super cute. It was one of those things where I was like, I can't believe I'm in this scenario. She let me feel her boobies, and we never went any further than that. But it was like really, like it lasted probably now that I look back only like maybe a month or two. But it seemed like it was like the longest. It seemed like we were married at the time.
When you're in high school,
we'd talk on the phone, and we'd meet up outside of school, and it was like the beginning of those parties where you would go with other couples, and like you would go to somebody's house. And all the couples would kind of pair off, and those were like the makeout parties. And that didn't happen to me.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah,
it's like sophomore year of high school for me.
We also used to make out like outside. Like
anywhere, dude.
Yeah, like I would make out. Like we met these girls once. This girl got mad at me once because I just her name was Cheryl, and she was like
she was a secretary at my dad's firm.
But she was super cute, and I used to hang out at a video store. I used to hang out at a video store named Video Quest when I was like 14, 15, 16 years old. Like we loved it. Like it's one of the best parts of my childhood was us like skateboarding over to Video Quest, hanging out, playing video games, and then like going somewhere else at some point, whatever. and Cheryl, we all met these girls and we brought them to the back of Video Quest at one point, and I'm making out with her, and she had a star. She was Jewish. She had a Star of David necklace, and all I said was, "Is that the Star of?" I was like asking. I'm like, "Is that the Star of David?" Meaning like, I don't know. Is that the Star of David?
Sure.
Like, just asking.
Fair.
And then she goes, "Yeah." I go, "Oh, you're Jewish," and she goes, "Yeah, is that a problem?" That's what she said to me. And I was like, "No." I go, and I always wanted to do a bit about this. I'm like, I wanted to do a good fellas. What kind of fucking people are they? What are they? I always wanted to do a bit about this because she goes, I go, "Oh, you're Jewish," and she goes, "Yeah, is that a problem?" And I go, "Lady, I'm 16 years old. I have a boner all of the time. You could be a Nazi, and I'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, Heil Hitler, yeah, go ahead, whatever, yeah, I don't care. I'm
a 16-year-old, but I call people lady.
I'm an old-timey 16-year-old. Listen, I think you're the bee's knees, lady.
Baby, you know I love you.
But yeah, so she got like a little bit upset, but it wasn't that upset because then we just went back to making out. Like it was pretty exciting.
Yeah. Maybe I love the Jewish gals.
I'll tell you, man, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of Jewish gals. I'm attracted to the Jewish lady.
Me too, baby.
Yeah.
They are the chosen ones for me as well. But that is kind of fun to look back on, those early formative. I'm in my mom's house. I don't want to like speak too loudly. I'm like, I lost my virginity. Like she's upstairs. But she knocked on the door, my mom, when I was inside a woman for the first time.
No!
Yeah.
No
God,
way.
I really hope that door's closed.
But she knocked again, like just a repeat.
Yeah, like this? No. Flashback.
No way. While it was going on?
Because I had the girl I was dating over. I was a senior. I was, I guess, what you would consider a late bloomer with the old V card. I was 17. I was 18. 17. Yeah. Because I was kind of a grade back. I was older for my grade. So I had the open door rule in my house when I had this girl over. And, I closed the door and locked it and was blasting music to cover up any sort of. And
good move, 18-year-old Andy. Nice move.
Yeah, it's like we should be fine. Like
your parents are like, "Oh, his door's closed and the music's blasting. I'm sure it's fine."
Yeah, and we're getting into it, and then it was doors closed, because I would go in, and it was one of those things before you do that we'd make out and we'd lock the door, and it was like a drive by, like, hey, door open rule, and I walk by. So it was just like one of them, but I was just like, no, this is the first time. And now I can't come without somebody knocking on the door.
I was about to say, I'm like, now you can't finish without somebody. Listen, I know it's a weid fetish, but could you stand outside the door and knock?
Yeah.
So you find those videos.
I'm paying my landlady off.
Yeah.
I'm paying kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah, you won't see anything, kid. Just knock on the door and leave. That's fine.
I'm creating jobs here. But yeah, man, what a great time. Just the 90s, the mid 90s, man.
Oh, it was fantastic.
No responsibilities. Just, dude, I'll tell you this much too. I'm, in my hometown now, hanging with my mom this week, and we went for a walk in downtown Morristown, New Jersey yesterday, and I think this is just for lack of being out in the public, but I was just walking by women and girls and just looking at every single one like a creep, because I just haven't been around people. And it's like women especially, you just like, I'm a single man. I'm just like, oh, she's great. She's beautiful. Look at this. She's beautiful too.
Yeah. I think it's both, because I think it's from being a lack of being outside too, because I went and did that Bel Air diner parking lot show.
Oh yeah, how'd it go?
Half the set went well, and then half of it not so well. It was like that.
Yeah, same.
And this lady, I got off early. This lady would not stop talking to me. She was in the way I can describe it, because I don't want to sound like an asshole. There was a lady there, and she was in the chair section. So the way this show goes is most of the audience is in their cars, and they beep or they flash their lights if they like a joke, whatever it is. This lady, and then they have tables and chairs right up front, like 4 or 5 tables and chairs. And this lady, from the get-go, was talking to Jay, who hosted the show, talking to Gary Veeder, and then would not stop talking to me. So I tried to talk to her, and she was a woman. She was in a scantily clad outfit. Now, normally I'd say whatever, go for it, whatever. But she was an odd duck, and it wasn't it was a dress that you would wear if you were doing your own version of Dancing with the Stars. It was like an even more exposing gown, cheap gown type thing where her boobs were popping out. Hey, go for it! But it was
Dancing with the Cars.
Yeah, but it was 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'll show myself out.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. It was 6 o'clock in the afternoon at a diner in Astoria.
I know.
And she's in the parking lot on a plastic chair in a pink, crazy dress. So at one point, and then she also seemed like she was on something. So at one point I go, well, what do you do? And she goes, jack of all trades. And I was like, okay, that's got to be Hooker.
I know exactly this type of audience member.
Yeah. I go, that's got to be Hooker, right? I'm like, you're Hooker. I'm like, why wouldn't you want to just say what you did unless you're just trying to be difficult? And I'm like, that outfit, I'm not anybody to judge anybody what anybody wears, but it's a little bit, it's just out of place. It's weird that you're here in that outfit. It was very strange.
Maybe you were on her turf. Maybe the diner parking lot might have been her workspace.
The comedy show was built around her. She's like, hey, I'm working here. I'm working. But yeah, so then she wouldn't stop talking, and I had a moment where I was like, "This sucks. You won't stop talking." She's like, "No, go." She's like, "You're doing good." She did that thing. She goes,
Jay's got to regulate that, man. Come on, it's like.
I know. She goes, "You're doing good. You're doing good." And I was like, "Jay, I'm just gonna get off," and I just got off. It was the worst. I was a little bit ashamed of myself, and I was also proud of myself of the laughs that I even got from the situation.
Yeah, because that's been the first time you were on stage since the shutdown.
3 months.
Right?
In 3 months. Yeah.
Did it feel good? Do you have that muscle memory?
Not really, not yet. Well, no, a little bit, on certain things, but it wasn't because she wouldn't let me get a word out. I was trying jokes, and then she would just say stuff on top of the joke. So it was like a show where somebody
actually, this feels right.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is actually what happens every day. But no, it was I actually wasn't. I'll tell you this much: the only thing I was surprised is that I wasn't really nervous. I wasn't nervous at all. And I was like, oh, that's something. I was like, oh, yeah. I didn't forget that, at least,
I didn't feel nervous either. I felt nervous to remember my jokes and remember, certain tags. I thought of one sitting in my friend's yard the other day. I was like, oh, my God, I just totally forgot a joke that was, a major part of my old set. And it just came to me weeks later. I was like, holy shit, how did I forget that? Because I had done a headlining set too. And had just completely forgotten about that whole part of my act, which is that's what's going to happen.
Yep. And that's the other thing I wanted to do too. I kind of didn't want to do it. The minute I went into old jokes, I was like, oh, it sucks. I
had a little bit of that too.
Everything's different now.
Did the headlights flashing kind of make you feel good though?
Oh, yeah, it was great.
I got a great warm feeling from seeing those bright lights flash at me. I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. But, here's the weird thing, too. It's that, I had that, and then I did that headlining set and that tailgate in Pennsylvania. And then I even went up to
I'm doing that on the 18th.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And it's fun, but then you get that fix, and then immediately you go, well, now I have nothing for who knows God when. The foreseeable future, I have nothing on the books. So it's
well, yeah. You feel like you just started over again.
Yeah, it really sucks.
What's so funny? I was talking to somebody the other day, and they brought up going back to the cellar, right? And I was thinking, if it's long enough, do you think they'll handle the cellar they'll have people re-audition for the cellar, or do you think they'll just pick up with lineups?
Yeah, I think they'll just pick up.
Yeah,
I don't think she wants to go through that all over again.
Yeah. I'm not saying everybody.
On her end too. Maybe for I don't know. Maybe for guys like me who are still kind of newer, it might be a little tougher. But who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's going to be interesting, man. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like you kind of have to go wherever the spots are and, figure things. Like, it's like, that's why I'm like, oh, I'll just do whatever. Like, even this girl has a show in the back of QED. And, and I was like, and then I didn't realize it was a live show. And I go, oh, yeah, can I do that? Like, I was like getting excited.
Yeah, for sure.
If this was pre-corona, I would have been like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever.
I know.
But then now I'm like, oh, can I do your show in the back of QED, which is a place in the Astoria, Queens?
Yep.
So whatever, man. I don't know what to tell you, but I was excited I actually was excited for this show. I just was annoyed at how it went down. And, and I was annoyed at the lady, but I was trying to do that thing where you stay positive. Like I'm like where you're up there and you're not liking what's going on, but you're like, no, I love you. You're great. Like love you. But really deep down, you don't want to be like, but you don't want to get back to that negative place. I'm like, well, this is the only stage time I'm going to have. That's why I was kind of annoyed I bailed, but I was like, if I can't get any jokes out, I can't.
No, totally.
That's that kind of thing. So whatever.
Maybe it was Cheryl. 25 years later.
She shows up with a cigarette in her mouth. I go,
yo, lady, listen, I told you once.
She's smoking a cigarette. I go, that looks really cool.
Hey, you look kind of sophisticated.
You look kind of sophisticated with that cigarette, kid. Have you been watching any movies?
Yeah, I have been watching a few things. I'm really getting few and far between on things to watch. But I took a flyer on a film called Looks That Kill. And it was kind of a...
Not to be mistaken with the Richard Grieco vehicle, If Looks Could Kill.
Correct. Not to be mistaken. This is a movie. It came out this year. It was directed and written by this guy, Kellen Moore. Has really no lead actors that you would know because they're young kids, but Peter Scolari plays the father in it. You might know him as the other half of Tom Hanks' Bosom Buddies.
Yeah.
And Andy Momolo.
Peter Scolari, I went to an audition. We both auditioned for the same thing once.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, hey, man. And he's like...
Father? Dad?
Yeah, probably, But he was but he was there, and I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Hey, like,
yeah, for sure.
You want? Yeah.
I don't care what you say anymore.
No, this is my life. What?
And then Annie Momolo, you might know her from. She was like Kristen. What's the name from Bridesmaids? She like co-wrote the Bridesmaids movies with what's that actress?
Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig, and you'd recognize her. But basically, the most beautiful baby ever is born. And when people look at him directly in the face, they die. That's
the movie?
Yeah, and it's a weird, unique kind of plot. So then
isn't that called the Sean Donnelly story? I'm pretty sure it's...
You are a handsome boy.
I am a handsome lad. I'm kidding. Yeah.
But then it kind of flash forwards to he's a kid in high school, and he's got to wear like gauze around his face. And sunglasses and a low hat, and this is kind of his everyday life. And then he meets a girl, that kind of old story. And it was a very sweet movie. I didn't love it until it kind of really ramped up. It was a short movie, about hour 40. Which, by the way, we got away from that hour 45 timeline of movies. That was a sweet spot for movies. Everything lately has been 2.5, 3 hours. Have you felt like that?
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't mind it. You hate it. Here's the thing about it also. Was this like a good-looking version of the Elephant Man? Like it's like almost like that? Like,
exactly. I thought of like the Invisible Man, the Elephant Man.
Yeah. And it was good?
It was it was good. It was sweet. It had me like tearing up at the end because there's a plot twist in there you don't really see coming with the girl. So it was nice. It really tied in to what we were talking about earlier because it's that like young high school love where you're just like infatuated with this one other person. Like you remember when like, for me, there's this one girl, like I couldn't talk to her enough. I couldn't see her enough. It was just like that young love, puppy love, I guess, where you just consume each other. And it really ties in perfectly because it's kind of that story. But it was a really unique kind of idea, and I did like it. It gets the Cool Breeze Reco.
The Cool Breeze record. I know exactly what you mean. So it has that vibe to it. That like, I have a crush kind of vibe.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
That kind of fits in what we were talking about before, because that's another part that. Have you? What was the oldest age that you had one like a crush that you can consider a real crush? I think your mind changes. Yeah.
You mean like you see somebody
like,
or you
where you feel
somebody?
you feel butterflies and you feel yeah.
I think that still happens to me, you know?
Does it really?
I think so. I think you can I don't think that has any sort of age limit.
Oh no, I think I'm getting too disenchanted with life.
You what? You think the weight of the world has crushed your romantic side?
I think maybe I'm getting too cynical. I have to stop being
buddy,
cynical.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you can still meet a girl and you get, you're like, oh, I think she's really cute. You see, there's that trigger that goes off in your head where you go, oh, I really think I have a little crush. You go, I think I have a little crush on this person.
Yeah, I do. I still have that, and one of them that we both know that I had.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But that kind of stuff
still happens.
It still happens. It does still happen. But you don't feel the same as you felt when you were a kid. I guess because you're more innocent back then.
Yeah, that a lot of it, and also like you're more experienced now, so you go, all right, I gotta tame it down a little bit.
I had probably the biggest crush of my life was on this girl, Jen Monahan, when I was in high school. This girl, Jen Monahan, who were friends, but we haven't talked in years. What?
Old Monahan.
Old Monahan. That was like the first probably person, girl that I was in love. I was in love with her. Like I was so in love with her.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. But we were friends. Like we were close friends and we hung out, like I'd say 8th, 9th, probably not 10th grade, probably the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, like middle school into high school. We would go to, we would go to her family's house. She had the best family. We would go to them and hang out. Like during the summer, we'd be there for hours, just me, her, and our other friend Nicole, my friend John, just hanging out in a room. Like it wouldn't be a makeout thing. It would just be like us hanging out. But I was like, she knew it. I think she knew it back then too. She just didn't feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like unrequited crushes are like that's why I think they call them crushes, because it crushes you. Like it fucking crushes you. Like
let me ask you this one. Or sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm just gonna say it shaped like who I was. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve. Like that's me. And it didn't get rid of that, but it was the first. It was the first like dealing with like big rejection. I think
Let me ask you this. Did you ever have a crush or somebody that you liked and then down the line you were able to maybe hook up with them or something romantic happened? Because I had a big high school crush on a girl and who was a year younger than me. And then we had always stayed in touch and we always ran in the same kind of friends group. And then about 5 years after college, we got together for a little bit.
Oh,
and
that's
it was
fantastic.
one of those things where you're just like, yo!
You know what it is? Not at the point where like you're like, not with a huge crush point, but like where like you were really into them. When I was really into them, like where you almost like where I've hooked up with people that I never thought it would happen, like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
A girl where I never thought in a million years that this would ever fucking happen, and then it happens.
Those are the ones that keep you going. You go,
oh, absolutely. So with the whole time you were doing it, we were like, I can't believe this is happening.
I've had that happen too. I've paused the moment. I've like freeze frame. Like I can't. I've been in the moment, been like, I can't believe this is happening right now.
Do you think the stuff from back then like dictates how you act towards women now? I think so, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously,
or how you are in relationships and stuff like that.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think.
Like we talked about it like the other day when we were like what's in a woman's head when like stuff like the story you told about the girl you dated and then she showed up at the show and she was like, oh, I was there, and she told you she was there, but she didn't come up to you for whatever reason. That kind of thing where it's like you're trying to pinpoint the motives. Like, why did you do that? What's going on?
Yeah.
I think that. I don't know. I would say like I've always had the same like outlook. I think I've always had a pretty romantic outlook. I think.
Same here. I've always been I think that's why a lot of us are drawn to the similar movies and stuff like that. You and I Like, it's because we are romantics and we do wear our hearts on our sleeves like that. And that was probably set at an early age.
Yeah.
And I'm still like that, even though I've grown up and gotten older and had experience with that. I still think, even though you are aware and can look for kind of the warning signs or the flags now, I still am like dumb to it. I'll still like get that crush and go all in, be like, nah, I don't care about anything else anymore. You know, like, this one's different.
Yeah, I had like not an online date. We met up, but we like socially distanced the other night, and we were talking about that. Like, after a while, it got to the point in the date where I was like, "All right, we're just going to talk about dating, I guess." And I talked about how I'm trying to not be this way, but the way I am is like, "Oh, if you're into me, I'm into you." Like, I'm like that.
Absolutely.
Kind of guy. Yeah, and I don't want to be that guy, but I also don't want to lose. I don't want to lose the excitement of that either. Where it's like, because it's weird. Like, there's being too open to a situation. And there's being too closed off. Because what she was talking about was like, she was like, I'm not the type, like, I find reasons to get out of it right after the first date.
Yeah.
And I'm the type where I'm like, well, if you still want to meet up, I'll, you know, like, I have that thing with every, you know, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm cool. Yeah. And that's that's also, you know, that's that thing of like the wearing your heart on your sleeve thing, or the, it's a matter of, I think it's a matter of self-worth. I think it has to come to
I agree. Very much so.
And what me and you have to realize is like, oh, we're worth it to like not just be agreeable all the time, and we're worth it to be like,
very hard to get over that for me.
It's hard for us, and both of us, I'm the same way, to have that thought of going, no, I'm really not that into it, but I'm not I'm lying to myself. You know,
yes,
that kind of
I think that's what happened with my ex a lot too. Was that it was this beautiful girl, and she was, you know, younger than me. It was like, why would she be interested in me? And that screwed me up mentally, where I was always trying to overcompensate. I think I wasn't able to be myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that eventually backfired, because it's like, well, no, you're a funny guy, and, you know, like, you got good qualities. And I just like always thought that once something better comes along for her, she's just going to, you know, leave me. And it's just such a shitty way to think, but I have a hard time.
Can't help it, right? Yeah, exactly. And you have a ton of good qualities. You know, you have got about 6 or 7, I'd say. No, I'm saying, like, that's the thing.
Go
like,
on.
We're like good. Like, that's the thing. Like, okay, so when it comes out, what people don't want to talk about is this. There's a lot of stuff comes out about like guys and women. What women don't want to talk about is that a lot of the time what they like is shitheads. Like, and because what they think is, I'm gonna turn this guy around, or I'm gonna like people like the idea of being. There's a little bit of fun. There's a fun thing in having what you can't have. Like,
for sure.
Trying to have what you can't have.
Classic. Want what you can't have.
So if you have a nice guy that's like agreeable, like let's just have fun kind of thing, a lot of women are like, wait, where's the complication here? Why isn't it? Where's the drama here? And not all, obviously not all women are like that. That's not the thing. But in my experience, like I said, this girl the other night, and we actually might even meet up again this weekend, me and that girl. But the fact of the matter is, she was like, the things that she was saying that she wanted in a person was like, she wanted an immediate personality to give off the vibes of what you would pick up over the course of a relationship. Where she was like, I want like I like guys that are a little bit more like on the rougher side, but also are good at heart. I'm like, you wouldn't realize that until like 2 months in. Like, you're like, like, what are you talking about? Like, and we talked about it. You know, I was like, so. That's what people want. They want like the entire thing to be written out for them right away. Yeah. Or they want a project, or they want whatever it is. But then there's the flip side of guys like us that are just like, you need to be a little bit more, I don't think nuanced is the right word, but a little bit more discerning and a little bit more judgmental than we are. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to be more judgmental than we are. We're not judgmental at all. We're like, hey, I'm down for whatever. It's like that kind of thing. We need to be a little bit more like, that's where the self-worth part comes in. And they're like,
for sure. It is a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in the same boat, dude. We're like the same with it. And therapy helps it for me, but like,
I know.
Once you know what it is, that I can talk a blue streak right now, but then when it comes down to it, and I'm like, hey, you want to hang out? I'll hang out. Let's do it. But, you know.
Exact same thing. Yeah, no, I'll cancel my role in a Judd Apatow film. You know, like. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I won the lotto, but I'll find the ticket later. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to pick up the lottery money. I'll just go hang out with you. Yeah, I mean, it's my grandma's funeral, but you know what? I could probably just, you know.
So I don't know, man. And then also bringing it back to the old school here. I think movies do it as well. I think movies can shape, and I've said this before, I think in discussions on the podcast, movies absolutely shape. I mean, they romanticize things in your brain. Like
Totally.
you ever watch a show or a movie and you're like, I want that. Like, that's what I really want.
I think even for me too, though, music got to me first. But
okay.
Movies also did it, but it was, for me, it was music. It was just that songs about girls and songs about you. You know, I mean, you and the royal. You know, as a guy talking to a girl, the you. But yeah,
the royal you.
That's why High Fidelity I was drawn to immediately, just because it was like, I'm like, oh, this is me. There's a guy who loves music, who's in these relationships and thinks the way. It was just such a mirror of how my brain worked.
Yeah,
it's so identifiable, and I'm reading it again for like the fourth time. The book. Yeah,
wow, you just reread that like not that long ago.
No, it's been a few years, but I have read it like 3 times already.
Oh, I thought you just did it like a few months ago.
No, I caught the end of it on. It's a really great movie too. It's a great movie. It's the movie that John Cusack naturally blossomed into, I think, perfectly.
100%.
For his career.
That's a great point. And 100%. It like was the perfect thing for him to do at that time.
Yeah.
And it's also what you picture him being like. I think it probably was him. Like it is him. Like it's what you picture him being like. It's exactly what you picture him being like.
And the one and only movie Bruce Springsteen has ever been in. So
yes.
Really fun fact.
Well, so. we know you're about your hatred for Bruce Springsteen, so I'm sure you're happy about that.
I don't love the boss. Not my boss.
Not my boss. What a.
I don't hate. I just don't love as much as everybody else does.
What a disgrace. What a disgrace. What a Jersey disgrace.
Yeah, the cops are going to come knock on my door. I mean, I can't say that in New Jersey.
They drive you outside the state limits and they're like, hey, listen, you're not going to be able to record your podcast in New Jersey anymore if you're going to say shit like this.
Yeah. It's a guy who talks like that. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
We don't like the boss. Hey. We don't like you.
Yeah. He's like, what are you talking about the boss like that for? We'll take you outside the state and then you record your podcast there. Your stupid fucking podcast. All right, we can wrap this bad boy up, my friend. What do you got for this? Anything on the especially romance? Any Zoom dates?
I got nothing, buddy. Oh, it's a sad, bleak scene over here at the Cool Breeze household. I got nothing to plug. I guess you can listen to my SiriusXM show. It's we have Raw Report. We have been having brand new episodes every week. We get really fun guests over there. So that's every Thursday at 4 p.m. on Raw Dog 99 and on demand. And they're doing another like free streaming thing. I forget how to do it, but if you research it on Google, I'm sure you could sign up for free for a few months. So check that out.
And I'd say instead of watching Andy's Sirius show, listening to Andy's Sirius show, you can listen to my Sirius show every Wednesday at 4 p.m.
Yeah, you could do both. It's not.
No. You can only do one. And I'd like to say it has to be Celebrate, which is on every Wednesday at 4 p.m.
I was listening to Celebrate the other day and very much enjoying myself. So.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, thank you.
I was listening to the Eric Andre show. Real good conversation you guys had.
It was a good conversation. And I'm at Shawnee Time on social media. And Andy, what are you?
Andy Fiore. At Andy Fiore across the board.
Hey guys, we have changed the brand of the podcast, but we have an Instagram. It's the DYM podcast on Instagram. Send us a message. Let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what you think of the brand reboot.
We'll write back.
Here. Well, we will write back probably because of quarantine. Probably right away. We'll write back right away. We already had a couple of people contact me. They're digging the new format, which I'm really excited about. I shouted out one last week, and guys, we're excited about it too. We think it's more of a free flowing discussion. We will talk about a movie still, but it's going to be us doing this. You're going to find out more about me and Andy on this.
I had a great time today.
Yeah, I was a blast, and so please listen and rate and review the podcast and tell your friends and all that jazz. And we will see you next Friday. And we love you, right, Andy?
We love all the Defenders. That nickname's not going away.
Not going away. You're still the Defenders. And remember, start smoking as soon as possible.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.